I think for the certification program, one of our biggest challenges is to keep the exam contemporary in line with technology developments. In terms of storage security, I think there are some very good, well-established security credentials in the market already, and we're not seeking to compete with that. Where we have been successful is in looking at storage security specifically and making a major contribution to ISO standards like 27040, where people can go and look at that document and be really given a lot of guidance into what is best practice. That's our role. I don't see us developing necessarily a storage security certification per se. Having said that, within our exams, we try to cover as many key topics as possible, and security is definitely one of them, but there's also flash memory and basic storage foundations and cloud and software defined and things like that in the exam as well. We've got a lot to cover in a 90-minute exam, so there's a lot of content in there. So no, I think for us, keeping pace with what is current in the minds of the storage professional and portraying that in a contemporary exam is what we attempt to do. When we go about developing a certification, the first thing we develop is something called a job task analysis, and that is an assessment from subject matter experts from all our industry partners, looking at what the job titles and job roles are and what's changed from the previous 3 years. Even storage administrators, which was a common title many years ago, there are very few of them left because the role has changed. So first of all, we've got to identify what people are doing in their day-to-day lives so we can portray that in the questions that we ask them. The second phase is to write a blueprint, and that blueprint determines what content goes into the exam in the form of the questions and answers. And the blueprint is again part of the work that the subject matter experts create, looking at what is current in the data center, what technologies should students be tested on, and what is it that they're having to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And again, we use the subject matter experts for that. And then the third phase is to get the subject matter experts back again to write the questions and answers based on the blueprint. And the advantage of creating the blueprint in the middle is that's the document we give to the third-party training providers to write the training content that gets sent out to prepare people for the exam. Being an enterprise architect today, you have to understand an awful lot of different technologies, all the way from simple backup and networking, all the way through to hyperscaling and software-defined storage and cloud and all those disciplines. So it is a very broad range. And so for us, it's keeping the exam manageable so that we can keep it within a set number of questions and a timing, but also making sure that as much content that is relevant is in there as possible. And sometimes it's more about what we leave out than what we put in.